Well, we'll think about it. All right. So we had talked about, and we've got the "I love you, I know" shirts on, because we're geeks
Dorks.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and when I saw these, I was like, oh, we have to get those. We can be that obnoxious couple.
Yeah.
And now we are.
We're
so
already the obnoxious
this is
couple.
the $200 lightsaber that you guys are going to hear a lot about when you hear about Star Wars Land. It is definitely more solid than the crappy lightsabers you're going to normally see in stores.
And this part's metal.
Yeah, it's
like
metal.
I was
it's
surprised.
heavy.
It's a heavy.
It's a heavy. And then, so I got this. I had to mail it to us because I didn't want to risk it on the plane because throwing it in the overhead. I'm really nervous about that. And then, of course, I've got 3 different kyber crystals. The one that I got with it is purple. And I just changed it over to the yellow one today. I wanted it to make a yellow lightsaber because of the really cool gold on this. This is supposed to be like Old Republic style. And yellow was not an option. They didn't give me yellow as an option. So I went to the store after and got don't say though you want one for a lightsaber because they'll pretend they don't know what you're talking about and they'll get kind of angry at you because you're not supposed to know what a lightsaber is because it's supposed to be all in the hush hush because it's run by the First Order. And that's part of the charm of Star Wars Land that you have to tell them.
Funny.
So I went to your junk dealer and I was looking for some scrap metal. Do you guys have kyber crystals for my scrap metal? This is the scrap metal. And then they'll go, oh, yeah. But if you say, hey, I need something for a lightsaber, they go, for pardon? What? Because they pretend like we don't make lightsabers here. We don't do that. That's not okay with the First Order. And, yeah. So there's one you can get to that comes with a Rancor tooth. It's the bottom of it. They're all really cool. They're all really, really nice. And honestly, I did figure out how to get the blade out, which is just push and twist. I was nervous about it though, because again, when you pay that much for something, you don't want to mess with it. So at the actual Disneyland, I was like, I don't want to try to take it apart and break something, because this does seem kind of a little bit. I'm not going to say breakable, but I wouldn't actually.
It is a plastic tube.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually be out there smashing around with people with these. The nice thing too is that apparently with each kyber crystal, it sounds different. This lightsaber sounds different with this one in it than it did with the purple one, so that's actually pretty cool. I'm going to put this down over here so I don't just handle my lightsaber the whole time.
You would too.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Shannon likes his lightsaber.
Yeah, no, it's a really fun thing to do. And so that's one thing that you do have to make an appointment. You go to Disneyland, you do have to make an appointment to make
Reservation,
one.
yeah.
And then, as long as you're going to be there for a few days, you shouldn't have a problem getting in. I don't know how much more of a challenge that would be during the summer. I would think that it's busier during the summer than when we were there, and it's probably tougher to find at the time, but you can book ahead, and it was totally worth it. Because you have the whole experience while they're making it, and you have voiceover stuff that goes on with Yoda, and it's just really, really cool. So I'm trying to talk her into making one the next time we go.
Yeah, I didn't go to that. You're able to take 2 guests with you, so he took the boys.
Yeah, and they both thought it was awesome. They were really, really blown away by the whole thing. It's the only time I've taken them somewhere and not had to tell them to keep their hands to themselves. Because they were just completely blown away.
I was pretty sure they would do good at Disneyland. All 3 kids did really good at Disneyland because they just love it, and they're so occupied.
Yeah, no, it was
do really good at Disneyland.
It was really fun. So we did I think we already talked about Star Tours.
Nope. Well, no, we really didn't. We didn't. Really
I mean, the kids did when we did the
we didn't
kids
touch
review
much
upstairs
on anything Star Wars because we knew we were gonna do a video.
So Star Tours has the least amount of wait time usually. I say usually
because it's an older ride.
It is an older ride. They have updated it for the new movie. So basically, you get strapped into a ship and then it goes on an adventure. It would appear that I went through it twice. And each time it was the same adventure. You went through it 3 times, and it was
4 times. And there was slight variation. Like the beginning was different, but the end was the same. Yeah. So remember, the first time we went through, Kylo wasn't in it, and then after that, Kylo was in it.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it was just the luck of the draw, because last time I went to Disneyland, I also went on it 3 or 4 times, and every single time it was different.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we just happened to go on it, and that was
I think
just
it's
our
because
luck to get
they're
the same
pushing the
one.
new movie. So
Or if they didn't make that many
you go on the
variations.
tour and you end up in the wreckage of the Death Star, which is just fantastic, and it's a jarring ride if you're at the back row.
Oh my gosh!
So the front
I
row,
didn't like the back row.
front row, it
my
wasn't
feet
bad.
Didn't touch the ground.
The back row,
I wasn't tall
lot
enough
more
for
motion.
that ride.
There's a lot more
I
motion.
kind of slid around my seat. I wasn't tall enough.
Yeah.
The front of the ride was a lot better.
Star Tours is fun. It's right when you go into Tomorrowland. It's pretty much one of the first things you'll see on your right. And there's usually a pretty good wait, but you can use your fast pass. You can get a fast pass for it, and then it's not too bad. It's like maybe 5 minutes if you have a fast pass.
Well, and the line's pretty fun too.
The line is good. The one thing
Once
with all
you're
the Star
inside,
Wars
the line's
rides,
cool.
all the Star Wars rides have a really cool line that keeps you occupied while you're in them.
You get to look at stuff. That one had the droids that talk to you.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So you have C-3PO while you're going through the line, and then when you're in on the actual ride, C-3PO ends up being the captain of the ship. So through no planning of his own or anything, he ends up being the captain of the ship, and it's really, really a fun experience. I would say that of the 3 Star Wars themed rides, they need more.
I wouldn't be surprised if they add more, especially with Star Wars Land. Now I think there's room.
Because it
back
is
there.
There are a lot of people who are just going for the Star Wars experience now.
Oh yeah, well
And-
you can. Oh, and then there was that Star Wars museum place. What was that called?
The landing bay.
Remember? Landing bay, launching bay,
Launch bay.
launch bay.
Star Wars launch bay,
That
which
was
is
cool.
museum.
Yeah, it was like a little Star Wars museum. They had little ships like they would use in the movie.
All the miniatures.
Yeah, Malachi really liked those.
Yeah.
Malachi really liked looking at those. Adelaide was kind of bored.
And then you don't have to
told her
worry
too bad.
about a lineup
But-
or anything because
Yeah, it was awesome. And we got to go
It's-
meet Chewie, and there was
Yep.
no line to meet Chewie.
Yep.
And he was super tall. And yeah, they had fun stuff in there. That was kind of cool. I didn't really I knew it was there, but I've never been able
I wanna
in
go
that
back to it
building.
next time and see who's on the Empire side. Well, First Order. It was Captain Phasma when we were there, but we were there at closing. So
yeah,
as
we
we
got
came
there.
out, we
That
didn't
was
have a
like the
chance to
last
see
thing we did that day.
whoever was playing Captain Phasma that day. So, it's something different. It's again, it's not a ride. It's a museum thing. So if you're tired of waiting in lines, it can be nice to go in
There's
and
a
just
lot of
take a
fun
break.
things that aren't rides at Disneyland. That's
Yes.
what we were talking about for summer. That while there will be a lot more people, a lot more lines, there are a lot of things to do that there wouldn't be lines for.
Yep.
Now that'd be something. And there was the little movie that we didn't get to go into as well. The little short Star Wars clip movie thing they did.
Oh, yep.
We didn't even have time to go in there.
No,
That'd
that's
be
true.
something fun too.
That's true.
And then Star Wars Land. Going there, we went there lots. Out of the 4 days, we went there 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
The first day we went there, by the time we got there, it was nighttime. So our first view of Star Wars Land was at night.
It was still fantastic.
But it was awesome. And one of the things different about Star Wars Land compared to the rest of Disneyland and California Adventure is everybody, all of the, what are they called? All the Disney people.
They're employees.
I forget what they're called.
Casting members.
Cast members. All the cast members, they stay in character in the Star Wars Land,
Yep.
which is really fun. Everybody, even like the cleaners and everybody, they all stay in character, and it was kind of comical. Even the photographers and stuff, and they would make comments on like what Shannon was wearing, and they were funny. I can remember the one. It was, yeah, we love the First Order. They're first and so orderly. They were fun.
Yeah.
And the whole area is just so well done. It's really cool just to walk around there. They only have the 2 rides, but the whole place is just so cool to walk around and look at everything.
We didn't get into the cantina.
No.
We're going to be doing that in August.
There's a lot of things that we didn't even get to.
The cantina was a matter of not, you'd have to wait in line and there's 3 kids. And it wouldn't have been something that once we got inside they would have felt was worth waiting for. So
we did walk into some of the other restaurants just to walk in, and they all looked really cool.
Yep.
But I was impressed with how everything looked so neat. Like, any walls didn't look like regular walls. They had, like, blaster marks. And there was the wires. Is there really somebody at our door?
That's the mail, I think.
Oh.
I'll go and check. Sorry, we had mail interruption. MAIL, not MALE. No. Knock that off.
I just thought
So you're going through the pictures?
Yeah, so I got our pictures printed. Look, I don't know if you can see that very well. But you walk in and they have ships. Kind of cool.
Yeah, there's the Imperial shuttle that Kylo was on in Force Awakens.
And we got to see Kylo go in it.
Yes.
We
and
saw
he force
Kylo.
choked,
Force
choked his colonel.
That was so fun. And goes up there, and we saw stormtroopers, and Kylo interrogated Gabriel. That was great.
Yep.
That was so fun. We saw R2-D2 walking around.
Well, rolling around.
Well, yeah. We saw Rey. We saw Rey a few times. We saw Chewie.
We saw 2 different Reys.
We did see 2 different Reys on different days.
Yeah.
That was really cool. But like I was saying, how it's designed is so cool. There's not like regular street lights even. They're even Star Warsy looking. They have little like areas where there's just scrap metal droids and stuff just on the side of the sidewalk. And the water bottle fillers, the kids love that. You fill your water bottle, it has this big old tank, and as you're filling it, after a while a little like alien pops up like you're stealing their water.
Well, that's the Dianoga from Star Wars.
But
geek.
Lots of fun stuff like that, which made it really cool.
Yeah.
The shops were so fun too. They had just stuff all over the walls, like heads of
and they had the cages.
Yeah,
the cages you could look up into, and you could see something peeking out at you through the cage.
Some of them had little light eyes. Some of them would move every once in a while.
Yeah.
That was really cool too. It was just so fun.
Like
everything was really cool. Just looking around.
Yep.
There's so much to just look at and see. All the shops were really fun to look around at, and the shops, all of the stuff you can buy, they don't say Disney on them or anything like that. They're all made to look like you're really on this planet.
Yep.
It was very, very fun.
So, the Millennium Falcon ride, your lineup is usually about 45 minutes for us. Now, I would imagine during peak time.
Each time when it was like 30 minutes.
During peak time, it's probably going to be well over an hour, I would think.
But they're thinking that they'll get Fast Pass on that soon. That's what it was saying online.
Fast Pass would be great, because honestly,
the single rider line for that was really short.
The one thing with that too, though, the one thing with that too, though, is that it does have the best queuing line of anything in Star Wars.
It went so fast.
It is.
It would
so
say it was
much
25 minutes. It did not feel like 25 minutes.
No.
It's a fun line.
Because as you're going through the line, you get different views out the window of the Millennium Falcon. And so you get like an overtop view, so that they don't skimp out on it at all in parts where you could easily cheap out and have parts that aren't actually there, and from certain, they go, well, nobody's going to see it from that angle, so we don't have to do that. No, they made the Millennium Falcon.
And that's another one we saw at night and during the day, which was pretty neat too.
The funny thing was when Malachi said, it's life-size. Yeah, it's like the real one. Yep, it's like the real Millennium Falcon.
There was like the engine, or what was that? That every once in a while, it had lights, and every once in a while it would kind of
that's the
shake,
thrusters.
And
the thrusters would come on.
That was cool, and then you could look down into that area that had like storage type things.
And then as you're queuing
and-
up through the line, you're going past the land speeder that they're trying to fix.
Oh yeah.
And it would fire up, and then
Yeah.
it would
sputter
and
yeah.
stop, and
they'd
you'd hear
say
the
different
voiceover.
things.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same each time because we went on that one 3 times, right?
Yep.
And we heard different things each time we were in the line.
Yep. And
Which is
then
kind of cool.
on the actual ride, you have limited controls over what happens on the actual ride, but it's a lot of fun to go through. I'll move that forward because she won't be able to get down otherwise, and then it turns into a cat fight. But with the limited amount that you can change things and have an effect, it's still a lot of fun.
So
I
what
did all
he's
3.
talking about
Well,
is
you can fly it, you can man the guns,
be a shooter.
or you can be the engineer. So as things break, you just press a button to unbreak them.
So there's 6 people in each car or each Millennium Falcon. So you go with 5 other people, and there's the 3 different jobs, and the cards will say left or right, and it'll tell you get assigned what you get to do. And each job, you're sitting in a different area, and you have something you're supposed to do during the flight. So when you're a shooter, you have to push the button that lights up that's telling you to shoot. The engineer, I never did the engineer, so I don't really know. You flip a switch or something?
Yeah. So basically you've got a schematic for it, and it tells you what needs to be fixed by a light flashing, so you just press the lights as they're flashing to fix them. And then it shows you how much damage you didn't fix in time. Or how much more damage occurred before you hit the button. As far as I could tell, it seems like it gives you a score at the end. And it seemed like I had the best score as the engineer, but I don't know how reliable those scores are.
Right, yeah.
Because
Adelaide did pretty good with the shooting when we both did
Yeah.
it. I got like 2 more TIE fighters than she did, but she did pretty good with that. And then piloting, I was crap at that.
Yeah, you were.
But
I piloted with you. That was awful. I don't know what you were thinking.
I was better at the up and down piloting than the side to side piloting.
The side to side piloting
That one
is
was
very
really
touchy.
hard.
It is very touchy.
So the whole time,
it
sorry,
moves a lot.
sorry,
And this
sorry.
is where the absolutely fantastic part of this ride is. You really feel like you're in control of a spaceship, and you get immersed into it. And clearly they have a number of different cars going at the same time, going through this same simulation. But you don't feel it. You don't see other crews. You don't feel like you're in a car on this huge ride with all these other people. They have really got this mapped out so that it feels like it's your adventure, and that there's only 6 people at a time on the ride, when there's a lot more than 6 people at a time on that ride.
Well, they each
I would
have
say
their own
there's
little cars.
I'd be surprised
Kinda
if there's
like
anything
the-
less than 4 cars going at a time, which would be 24 people at a time.
It's something like 12.
Is it?
Yeah, that's why it's constantly loading.
That's insane.
Well, you saw how many people were in that room once you get your assignments.
Yeah.
How many people in that room?
I didn't think
and
there
then
were 72 though.
You get in your car really quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot though. Same with the other ride. It's
Oh,
actually a lot
yeah.
of cars that go at one time.
so-
That's why they're able to get
when you-
1,000 people
when
every
you
hour
go
or something.
when you go on the Millennium Falcon ride, which is Smuggler's Run, you may very well be there because you're not able to get into Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance is an experience. I watched a YouTube video on like the walkthrough of it, and I'm so glad that I went on the ride and didn't see the walkthrough. So if you haven't done it, don't watch any walkthroughs, just experience it. It is
We had no idea.
absolutely fantastic.
I knew a
I had
tiny bit
some
just
idea
because
just from
I
the
had
preview
seen
stuff.
Imagineers.
Yeah, and some of the
But
little
that-
preview stuff, which is not, it doesn't really change the experience. The only thing that scared me was I really thought we were going to get dropped down the turbo lift.
All of the
Because
warnings,
there's warnings
the medical
everywhere
warnings.
about do you have blood
Heart
pressure problem, heart
conditions,
conditions, probably going to die.
pregnant,
I was like, okay, we haven't seen these warnings on any other ride, not like this.
Right?
So what in the world does this ride do to us? And so I
knew it wasn't a roller coaster though. I
when
knew
we
were
headed
in a car.
when we headed towards the turbo lift, I was like, oh god, no, because it said there was a big drop, and I was like, oh, please don't let it be the turbo lift. I don't know if I'm gonna puke, but it's not that kind of ride.
No.
It didn't make me feel sick, and it doesn't take much for me. Thunder Mountain Railroad made me dry heave all over the place. So she was a witness. She can say that it occurred. And so it does have a drop. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to spoil it for people. But you don't go in the turbo lift. So you get close, but you don't go in the turbo lift. There's a lot of spinning that happens.
But it's not.
But it's not.
It's turning. It's not spinning.
I don't think you get over. I would say maybe 15 miles an hour.
No, it's not fast.
I would say top speed's probably about 15, and then it's about 10 for most of it. I would think, and you do a spin. Yeah, there's Imperial Walkers, which the one thing that's brilliant about this ride is you have enough time to experience it and enjoy it, but you don't have enough time to really think about scale. So when you see the Imperial Walkers, you're like, those look really big. How big are they? And before you can really think about it, you're being rolled right back out. So I don't know the scale on all of it. It's brilliant. You're pretty sure you're in space at one point in the ride, and because it really feels like that part's real. And again, don't watch the walkthroughs, just experience it, because I think I said holy crap when we came out. I don't remember exactly what I said.
Well, and then there's we're outside.
Yeah, I said that. I said we're outside because I knew we weren't on a ride. We were actually outside, and it takes you out the other side of the mountain. So that huge mountain there, that is Rise of the Resistance. That hides the entire ride. And it's absolutely brilliant. And there's a reason that people camp out at 8 a.m. and they just keep reloading it to try to get on.
Everybody in Disneyland, everything stops at like 5 minutes till the hour.
Yep, and you see everybody on their phone. And then it's just refresh. You're trying to get into a boarding party so that you know that you're going to get in and you're not. And they fill up really, really fast.
Oh my gosh.
If they didn't have the boarding party system, there would be a wait of like 2, 3, 4 hours, I would think, for that ride.
Oh, it would be hours, yeah.
It'd be insane. You'd have a lot of people
out
complaining.
of our 4-day trip, we only got to go on once.
Yep.
Because the other days our boarding pass was too late in the day.
Yep.
One time they missed us by, what was it, like 5?
5. The one trick too is that they'll get to different boarding parties each day because it does break down. It is such a...
There was the one day that they didn't start any boarding numbers for like an hour
ride.
Or something.
Well, we still check it from home too. There's one day after we got home. They didn't start it up until almost noon hour.
Yeah,
and I was
then
like,
we saw one day
crap.
they got really far.
They got to like the 150s.
Oh. Yeah.
And so
it was the Saturday after we came home, I think.
There's luck of the draw involved when it comes to that, where sometimes you look and go, oh, we're in the 90s, we'll get it, and you won't. And then another time you go, oh, we're boarding group 121, we won't make it.
The one day that we got to go, we were like 86.
Yeah.
We were just like, and we got on really late.
Yeah.
It was late by the time it was our turn. And then our last day, we were, 106? They did not make it to 106. Yet other days we had seen they'd made it to like 120.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, but I've seen them get it to like 150 some days as well. So it's fun. There's the Disney app that you can install on your phone. It'll tell you what boarding group they're at. You get a better idea. So when you go in and you go, all right, I got on boarding. I'm boarding 146.
Oh, there was one the first day we tried
130 something.
No, wasn't it like 150?
Yeah,
it was
we knew we
something
weren't
really
gonna get
hard.
in.
Like, okay.
Yeah, we knew we weren't going to get in. So it is kind of luck of the draw, and it is frustrating to some, which I get, but man, it is so worth it when you get to go on it. It is just so fantastic. I do intend on...
Even the boys were like, that was amazing.
Yeah. I do intend to, when Disney World gets the new hotel, they have a Star Wars hotel experience coming, that's when I go to Florida. Because there's not enough room in the California Disneyland for them to hook up a hotel and do all of that. But Disney World there is, and I think that would be fantastic, where it's a 2-day immersive experience where you basically live as a Star Wars character for 2 days. And yeah, I think that would be absolutely fantastic. So basically it's a hotel room and it looks like you're in space. So I don't know how the whole Wi-Fi thing works there or how all that would work, but I am so doing that. And then they let you go on to the planet, as they call it, which is just the Star Wars land. But it sounds like you get exclusive access.
I'm going to guess it's kind of like
Magic Morning
with the Grand Californian and California Adventure, how there's an entrance into the park from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And either, it's a magic morning thing or an after hours thing. Because there are nights that the park closes at 8 o'clock.
Could be.
And it could be, well, you guys still get to be in there or something like that.
Yeah, that would be an amazing experience. So, and I mentioned this in a video on this channel not long ago. I agree with people who say that, Disney, the whole way that they're telling the story, the narrative, it's a bit off, but the feel of Star Wars they have down. The feeling of what Star Wars should feel like they have absolutely got, which I thought in the prequels, Lucas kind of lost the narrative with that, where you go and you go, it's kind of like, it's sort of like, but it's not really, because it's all too CGI and it's looking really fake, and it's robots against clones, and I don't really care about that. So that part they seem to fix with Star Wars, and they've got the human aspect back to it and using more practical effects. The actual storylines, it's apparently going to take some time. But this part of it, the Disneyland, Disney World part of it, is fantastic. Their attention to details is amazing. So I cannot recommend that part of the experience enough. It was absolutely fantastic, and we're gonna go back in August. That was something when we came home, we realized we wanted to go back again. Minus the kids.
We hadn't even got home.
Minus the kids.
We were still at Disneyland, and Shannon's saying, this would be really fun without kids.
Yeah.
Which is funny because before we went, Shannon was saying, well, this isn't really something, it's not my thing, but you and the kids will like it. But, I'm going because this is what you guys will like this. And then we're there and Shannon's like, this will be really fun without kids.
Yeah. So we changed,
realize how awesome
we changed our holiday plans for August when we were kid free, from just Vegas to doing Vegas, then Disneyland, and then coming home. So
best vacation ever.
And it's mostly already all paid for and planned out, and we're good. I think the only flight we don't have is the one from California to Seattle.
No, we have all the flights. We haven't paid for the Disney part.
Okay,
we have
are
all
you
the
sure
flights.
we have all the flights?
I don't have my phone with me, but I'm pretty darn positive because that's what I do.
Because I know you booked the flight from Vegas into John Wayne.
Because that was kind of important.
But I didn't know that you'd booked from John Wayne to Seattle. So we might just be hitching a ride. So if anybody wants to drive us from California to Seattle,
where did I leave my phone? I don't
we'll
know.
probably spot you like $20, I would think, for that drive. That'd probably be pretty good.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a horrible drive. It'd be like 2 days at least if we don't stop. 2 days if we don't stop.
It'd be rough. So we're not doing that. I'm kidding about that, obviously. But it's going to be fun this summer, and I cannot say enough good things about it. So there you go.
And the kids all liked it too.
They did.
Even Adelaide, who's not a huge Star Wars person, she really liked it. The boys, though, oh my gosh, they loved it. And Gabriel, I don't know if you've noticed, hasn't stopped watching Star Wars. Whether it's the movies, the cartoons, he is just super Star Wars. See,
now. And the cartoons is where Disney's got it right. Whether it's with Rebels or Resistance,
those. Yeah.
They've got the cartoons are really, really well done. So maybe there's still hope. I think it's the Skywalker saga that really weighed them down, and now that that's gone, maybe they can figure something out. But I'm honestly, this was well worth it. Yeah, there's 3 kitties on the screen, and Bear's not too sure she trusts Pixel being right there. She doesn't really like it, and Pixel's moving very slowly.
I'm trying to get down.
Yep, she's moving very slow.
She's stretching.
Yeah, no, you're not slapping her. You're not slapping her, Pixel.
She's not.
Yeah, I know how this works. She looks around the post. Pixel?
I'm not doing anything,
She doesn't like that. I wouldn't be sniffing Bear. She doesn't like it. I don't think she likes that. There's the growling. No, you don't get to slap her.
Be nice. It's been great. Just touched her.
That's not how it works, Pixel. See how she's looking around the post like I'm not slapping her exactly. I'm just thinking about it. Might slap her. Bear is not
Kitties
taking
are
her eyes
funny.
off of her.
Yeah. Would you?
No. Yeah, she's almost like Yoda. Don't touch. Yeah, pretty darn close. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this has answered anybody's questions regarding Star Wars Land in between all of the videos we've done on the channel about our Disney trip. And when it's just the two of us next time around, odds are there will be more videos uploaded and more discussions of the Disney variety and whatnot. So
Yeah, we didn't get to go into. Well, we walked into, but didn't go to any of the Star Wars restaurants or anything like that.
nope. So we can discuss the cuisine.
There was that one that smelled really good. The really big
steak
place that smelled
the steak one.
fantastic. Yeah, and we didn't even get to go in Cantina, which always had a line. So
Yeah.
has to be kind of awesome.
The cantina is supposed to be
I
great.
think so.
And that's where you can actually get alcohol in Disneyland. I think that's the only place in Disneyland where you can get actual alcohol.
I think so. There's plenty of places in California Adventure now, though.
Yes. But there you go. So thank you guys so much for all your support and for watching. As always, hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And remember, I know. That's the important thing. I know.
Such a dork.
And that is not the original line. George Lucas had written, "I love you and I love you too," and Harrison Ford said, "I'm not saying that. That's not what he would say." So I know was Harrison's doing, and it's an immortalized phrase. So there you go. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.